Today's adventure had actually started the night before. I'd spent a few days over in Knoydart where me and Jerry had gone up Larven after kayaking in, and following that I'd gone up a hill just above Kinlochhorn. So yeah, I had to get from Kinlochhorn round to where today's adventure starts, and I was home to do a summit camp above Loch Arkaig. So I drove back along towards the Great Glen and down a few miles to the side of Loch Arkaig. As the crow flies, it's not too far, but in the car it takes a wee bit longer. Having arrived at my starting point the night before, it was a nice leisurely start to the day. It was going to be a summit camp on top of a mountain, and there was no rush to get up super early, so I slept in my car and listened to some music before eventually pulling myself out of my sleeping bag and getting outside and getting all my gear ready for this hike up the hill. The weather was looking good, but I was feeling a bit sore and a bit tired over having done a lot of hills and distance over the last few days, so I saddled the big backpack on and slowly trudged my way onwards towards the hill. What a lovely day it is. And today, I don't know if you can make out behind me, but I'm back in a familiar area because I've tried to do this hill 3 times, and twice actually. This is my 3rd time, but the last 2 times I failed. The first time the road was flooded and I couldn't get here, which was annoying because it was only about a mile from where the car park was. And the second time it was slightly different to what it is at the moment. I'll be talking about that later on, but this is Loch Arkaig behind me, down the way down there. And I'm going up here. I'm going to wild camp on the top of this mountain today. And it's warm. It's beautiful though, it's really nice. It's a wee bit cooler than it has been the last few days. So I've been out the last 2 days in Knoydart, if you've watched those films. So I'm feeling a bit tired, shall we say. So I'm just taking my time, I've got loads of time. I'm going to head up here, up the glen, before striking up the hill. Oh. Right, enough talking. Let's get walking. Oh. Well, I've made it a wee bit further up. There's a lot of water in the ground. I'm very much aware of how wet it was yesterday when I was driving back round here from Knoydart. It was monsoon weather, so the ground is rather soggy, but my boots are waterproof and it's been fine. I've been following this ATV track up. I'm going to branch off. I've got about another 250, 300 metres vertically to the top, but it's just lovely. I've just stopped here. There's a nice wee breeze, as you can maybe hear, and down this way I can see the Ben and the Annex just looking fantastic. And then over here, I think you might be able to see this in the camera actually, there's a big V. That's the Munros at Loch Lochy, and Loch Lochy just sits on the other side of that gap. So yeah, it's absolutely splendiferous. Beautiful summer's day, and the forecast is improving. I've managed to get a signal and the winds are to drop even lighter tonight, so hopefully on the summit there'll be just enough of a breeze to keep the Midges at bay. But you know what, I'm going to sit here. There's no rush at all. That's one of the advantages of wild camping. There's no rush to get back home and all that jazz. So I'm just going to sit here and soak in the views before saddling this backpack on and tackling the remainder of the climb. I was certainly glad that I wasn't in a rush, because I couldn't rush it even if I tried. I was taking it nice and easy, a nice slow pace with that big backpack on, and the underfoot conditions were pretty nice, soft grass, and as I got higher up the hillside that was replaced by low-lying heather, and those views south and west started to open out. It was grand. I was looking forward to getting up to the top to see the views that lay beyond. What a view. Oh, there's the summit. A short time later and I was reaching that summit trig point, and I tell you what, I could have kissed it. I was absolutely knackered. It had been quite warm. Yeah, to say I was glad to reach the top would be an understatement. But it was lovely, and I now needed to find a pitch to put my tent up. Right, so it's now 2:45. I got up here maybe half an hour ago, and I've just been trying to sort of scout out the best pitch. I'm being a bit picky today. I'm trying to get one with a view in all directions, because it really is spectacular views everywhere you look, absolutely fantastic. But you'll probably get to see them as the video goes on. So this is geocairn, another geocairn. There's lots of geocairns. This one's 804 metres. I tell you what, I think I felt every one of those metres on the way up. My legs, it's been a long time since I've been this tired. Just absolutely hitting the wall quite a few times. But that's to be expected given what's happened in the last 2 or 3 days, the amount of walking and ascent we've done. Anyway, I'm paddling for that matter. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now. It's absolutely glorious. There's a slight breeze, and that's to drop even further as the night goes on if the forecast is right. So I'm just going to get the tent up now, and yeah, maybe just chill, maybe have an afternoon nap in the tent. So let's get the tent up. So with the tent up and the sleeping pad and sleeping bag all set, I could finally relax for a wee while, and I stepped inside the tent and lay down, and yeah, just sat and relaxed for a wee while. Well, as you can see, I'm inside the tent now, and all I can hear, I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, all I can hear is the sound of insects. Bees, I don't know if it's bees or not, buzzing about. There's a few midges about, that's the only thing with the wind dropping, unfortunately. So I've got the doors up, the mesh doors up, and see a few midges in the vestibule of my house today. Anyway, let me just show you through the mesh, hopefully you'll be able to see out what my views are. So this way, I'm looking out down, that's Loch Arkaigaway down there. I can see over to Knoydart that way. And out this way, there's a summit. Can you see the summit? Yeah, you can. There's the summit just there. And you may be able to make it. There's my washing line there. Hold on, I'll focus it for you. There's also some midges. Yeah, there's my washing line. Then further round, it's looking over to Ben Nevis. Over that way. Lovely. Can you see the midges? Let me see if I can. No, maybe I can't. There's lots of midges there. So, let me just sort this piece back. So, 4 o'clock. It's warm. I'm going to see if I can get a wee bit of shut eye. It's one of the other things that's just kind of affects these sort of trips is the sleep deprivation. Although I've been getting to sleep in the tent and also in the car, I've not been getting my full complement of sleep, so it's yeah, it's much required. But I'm really looking forward to tonight. It looks like it's going to be a cracking evening. Blue skies. I think it'll be quite starry later on. Yeah, looking forward to it. So, but for now, yeah, I'm going to go for a wee sleep, and I shall report back later. See you in a wee while. Oh, it was too hot. It was too hot in the tent, so I've come outside. There's a bit of a breeze, which is dying down every now and again. And when it does die down, there are some of the little beasties about, but they're not too bad. The midge net hasn't appeared yet, but I actually thought this would be a good opportunity to give you a tour of my accommodation. So I'm going to do that. I hope you enjoy the tour. So this is the accommodation, holiday accommodation, and as described in the brochure, stunning views in all directions, and you can see that. It's over to the south. You've got the Ben, and then further round here, you've got all the. It's a bit dark. Let me see if I can. Oh, there we go. That's better. You can see all these western Highland peaks along here. Places like, where's that pointy one in the middle? That is Audionautix, I think. And anyway, and further round, Gaelic right in the middle of the picture there. In fact, just to the left of Gaelic is Larven, which I was up just 2 days ago. Then we come round and we start to see the Glen Shiel Hills right in the middle of the picture there. It's Sistidoo. Oh, look at those lovely clouds up there, fantastic. And round here, a rather fetching wind farm. And then at the summit, looking over to the closer hills of the Loch Lochy Monrose and that other Corbett, which I'll talk about later on, and back round to the Ben. So what have we got here? So if we look at the back of the accommodation, we have our cupboard space here. So this is where less needed items are stored. We have a few bits and bobs in there. What's that there? Oh, that, yes, that does look suspiciously like concentrated pee, but I can tell you that's my wee tipple for tonight. I've disguised it in a Coca-Cola bottle. So this is the drinks cupboard round the back as well. Some Glenlivet there. And we've got the tripod for later on there. So let's go round to the front. Well, we've got the kitchen at the front here. So we've got the sink to the right there. And then the actual kitchen cupboard and contents and cooker are all based in here in a very fetching, that's right, Tesco bag. Other brands are available, and at the back there we've also got a second wardrobe. In there are things that such as hats and gloves and midge repellent should I need it. Then inside the living quarters, what a mess. Okay, one final bit to show you is the veranda, and next to the veranda is a charging point, and this accommodation did actually come with Wi-Fi. There's a signal up here which is going to make things so good. So when I'm not looking at the view, I can I don't know, check Twitter, check YouTube. These sad things that I don't usually do on the top of a mountain. And you can see there we've got the charging point there because I've been doing that already. There we go. And in this red dry bag is a lot of cables, because that big power bank there not only charges my phone but it charges the camera and this camera that we're looking at. So there we go. Oh, the washing line, forgot about the washing line for the laundry. There we go, look at that, fantastic. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that. So of course this will only be temporary accommodation, and this whole spot will be cleared in the morning as if nobody had been here. But please feel free to come and try it out for yourself. Bring your own house with you. There ends the tour. after making my tea, I found a nice wee perch and sat and really enjoyed it. My body was engulfing those calories, and the views weren't too bad, and there was a slight breeze, so at this time it was fine to be sitting outside to enjoy it. I had my tea and then the midge came out, the wind dropped a wee bit. But every now and again it's building up a wee bit and we're getting a lovely breeze through and it's keeping them away. That's the midge. You can see them here hidden behind this cairn out of the wind. There's loads of them. Anyway, I've been kind of sitting in my tent and just listening to it's hoverflies, quite big hoverflies buzzing around. And every now and again they land and they seem to vibrate and the noise they make changes. It's absolutely fantastic. The only thing that isn't as fantastic is the old midge. So you see I've got the midge net on my head ready to go back on as soon as this wind drops down again. Anyway, this is a corbett called Geel Carn. And I've not been up this one before, so I thought I'd come and give it a go. And I said before, over here behind us in the shade, that was a corbett. I usually do that corbett and then come round the quarry and do this one, and do the pair of them. But when I came about 6 months ago to do that, oh, I think it's the deepest, freshest snow anyway that I've had to walk in. And if I didn't have my snowshoes on that day, I wouldn't have even made it to the top of that corbett. And there was no way I was going to be getting round to bag this one. So I'm kind of glad. It was tough work that time with the snowshoes. I tell you what, it was tough work coming up today with all the camping gear up to the top, especially after the days that I've just come off. But anyway, it's an absolutely fantastic. Whoa! I literally just got some midges blown in my face. A breeze came up over there. Anyway, what I was going to say about this summit is it's almost like a dividing point. From here east, the hills tend to be a bit more like hills or mounds, no sharp peaks. But then from here west behind me, it's just wild and rugged peaks, very more jagged in nature. And it's a fairly impressive viewpoint, to be fair. It's one to keep for a good day for sure. It's absolutely great. So I think I'm going to go and, I don't know whether I go back in the tent, because the problem I've got when I'm in the tent is it's so warm, the sun beating down. Not often you say that in Scotland, but if I come outside then the midges find me. But yeah, it's going to be interesting at sunset. I'm going to come out and try and take some pictures, but keds, there's keds as well. I've been eaten alive by everything. Anyway, right, back to the tent I think just now and get away from the biting midges. I'll come back to you at sunset. So I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds like rain on the tent, but it's actually the midge. Quite a few of them there, as you can see, and I'll come out this way. You can see them as well in the sun. There's less in this side in the sunshine. There's the view. There's certainly a few midge about. Right, I don't know if you can see a few midges there, but if I just focus beyond there, look at that. Oh, is that focused? I think it is. Like the herd of deer just go up. I don't think they've seen me yet. Just grazing up high, probably trying to get away from the midges, like me. Absolutely fantastic. I'll sit and watch these guys for a while. Wow. Fantastic. Must be about 30 metres away from the tent. See me now. That's enough. Spotted. Well and truly spotted. Ah, well, they've gone now, but wow, that was amazing. I don't know if any of the footage will have come out, but I was just in the tent, minding my own business, and I just happened to look out, and I just saw walking across slowly 2 or 3 deer. And then about, I don't know, it must have been about 40 or 50 of them just grazing down there. They hadn't really noticed me at all. So hopefully I've got some footage of them, but they eventually must have smelt me or I was trying to take pictures or made a noise, I don't know, but they've moved off further down the hillside. Which is, yeah, they were there for about a good, I don't know, it must have been about 40 minutes. I was just sitting as quietly as I can, or as quietly as I could, to try and capture them. Fantastic. So that with the porpoises 2 days ago, and the otters and the seals. Just sometimes, I mean, these trips are great enough just with the landscape and the wild camping, but when you have wee moments like that, when you see pieces of nature, I don't know, it's just something special about it. I don't know what. Anyway, it seems to be a wee bit of a breeze now, and the midge have disappeared, so I think we might be okay for sunset. We'll see, but things are looking good. Absolutely fantastic. It's not a cloud in the sky, so it might not make great pictures, but you know what, I might get some stars tonight. We'll see. Anyway, that's made my day. That was fantastic. Right. After enjoying the deer for a while and coming out of the tent, I realised there's a bit of a breeze, so it was great. I was able to get out for the sun going down without having to bat off those ferocious little beasties. I was really enjoying it now. Wow, this is just fantastic. We're about 10 minutes away now from sunset, just over the camera. The sun's about, a finger away, 1 finger away from going down, so that's not long at all. Next 10 or 15 minutes it'll be down. There's not many, well, there's no clouds in the sky, there's a few clouds over here, so I don't think I'm going to get much in the way of photographs done for sunset, but you know what, I don't really care. It's just lovely. It's not often I've said this a million times though when it happens, but it's not often you get on top of a Scottish summit and there's not much wind at all. Although saying that, I am extremely glad that there is a ever so slight breeze that's picked up in the last hour, because I was cooking in the tent for a good 2 hours while the midge were out. But I tell you something, the permethrin I put in the tent, I've got a sea of dead dead midges across my bag, which were sitting underneath the tent. It was obviously affecting them. So it does work. It does work. So it's just lovely. The shadows are getting long, and the temperature's dropped. I've got my wee buff on and put my gilet on because it's got a wee bit colder. But absolutely fabulous, just great. So I'm going to shut up now, go and see what happens at sunset, and then hit the hay. Fantastic, and see what the morning brings. Lovely. Well, fantastic. I watched the sun go down out to the west, and then this wee bit of cloud. There's a wee bit of cloud over in the southwest. It's over the area called Ardgour, and I can make out Garven of Ardgour down there as well. And it's just a lovely, lovely colour. So I've been taking some snaps. I'm not sure how they've come up. If they're any good, I'll put them up now. But it's just nice to get a wee bit of colour in the sky. Absolutely fantastic, and I can see darkness is approaching from the east. The sun's disappeared, so we'll see what the night brings. The temperature has dropped. It's not that muggy way it was the last few nights, but yeah, I'm just glad to get that. So hopefully those pictures will come out okay. It's time it's time for me to go to bed now, so I'm going to say night night, and I'll see you in the morning. So as forecast, overnight the wind had picked up, which I was actually pretty glad of, and it was an early start. At this time of the year the sunrises are early, so I was up before dawn to make sure I didn't miss anything in case those skies were going pink. And it was looking good. There still wasn't much cloud in the sky, but it was nice. I was able to leave the tent without worrying about the midge attacking me in the vestibule. I got up and shifted around and went over to look at the eastern skies to see if there was much chance of a nice sunrise. Oh, good morning. It is 4:55 in the morning, and that wind over the last few hours. I went to sleep about 11 last night, and through the night it's picked up a wee bit, which was forecast, which is fine. And yeah, there's not much high cloud that I can see. I've got half an hour until sunrise, so I'm going to put a brew on to still have a coffee and then see if I can watch the sun coming up before striking camp, clearing up and heading down. But there's a bit of fog lower down in the valleys, which is quite nice, so if that rises then I might be able to get some photos of that. But anyway, time for some coffee. Oh, I tell you, there's nothing worse than getting out of a warm sleeping bag into a cool Scottish wind. Oh, right, let's get this brew going. Ugh. It's funny how coffee always tastes good on the top of a mountain, even though it's really cheap, nasty stuff I usually buy. It always tastes good. Anyway, I could see that purple haze that you get coming across the western sky in the morning, and out to the east. I was just waiting for the sun to rise now. It wasn't a bad way to have my breakfast. Having watched the sunrise and enjoyed my coffee and my breakfast bar and a bar of Snickers, I always have chocolate, it was time to start breaking down the camp, and I set about getting the tent down. I wasn't I wasn't rushing. It was early enough. I had plenty of time, and I was actually quite enjoying it with the sun peeking over the horizon as I started getting the tent pegs out and the poles out and putting away my sleeping bag and that routine of striking camp. The breeze was fairly picking up now, and yeah, it provided a good opportunity to air the tent and had all the doors open and gave it a flap about to get all of those permethrin killed midges out that were along the floor of my tent. And it was certainly waking me up and cooling me down, a lovely breeze to welcome in the day. Right, just having a wee look around, make sure I've not left anything. No pegs hanging about. Anyway, so yeah, that's me done now. What a fantastic camp. It's just after 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun's up, what a difference. This will be coming off, I think, not too long before I get down, but there's some lovely low-lying cloud. I don't know if you can make out over Loch Arkaig behind me, so it's going to be a nice walk out, I think. Hopefully get some nice views down and above the cloud if it hasn't dispersed by the time we get down there. So thanks for watching. As I always say, stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next adventure. Right, let's go home. Making sure I hadn't left anything at the campsite, I saddled that big pack again and headed down the hillside. It was a lovely walk out and there was a layer of fog just sitting above Loch Arkaig for me to view as I went down. Another fantastic summit camp.